And today my guest is Doris C Neely, who has come back. Yay!
Hey.
Nothing bad happened to you since the last interview, has it?
No, nothing bad.
Awesome.
I would say it that way.
Yeah, I'd like to keep it that way whilst you still telling your story.
Yeah.
So, there are, I guess, rules about this where we can try to keep you out of trouble. So, I had complaints last time about that you were not talking loud enough. So I may bug
Okay.
you a little bit about that.
All
Um,
right.
people, people want to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you never thought you'd be popular, did you?
I'm nervous.
I understand you're nervous. Yes, I was too the first 20.
Okay.
um,
Mm.
yeah, I would get up on camera and talk about having been at Langley and then on Mars, and I would watch their eyes just glaze over and get really big, and
Yeah.
I could hear them thinking,
Oh,
"Oh, fuck."
yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, I cuss. If you want to cuss, if it makes it easier, then go ahead. Our network doesn't censor that.
Okay.
So, Odin said that you wanted to start with um, how you worked for the CIA.
Oh, okay. Start there.
Yeah, we can start there and go wherever we need to.
Okay.
He also gave me a couple of questions to ask you in case you
Oh
got
no.
stuck.
Oh, let me come from North Carolina. Let me start
Okay.
with that. Originally from a small town in North Carolina, Selma, North Carolina. It's
I've
uh,
heard that name
but it,
before.
you've heard of Selma, Alabama.
Ah,
Heard of
okay.
Selma, North Carolina as well.
No.
It's
Okay.
Alabama. Okay, that's good. Um, I I came from Selma. It's 26 miles from Raleigh. So many miles from Wilson, North Carolina. So many miles from Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, and that's the base. Fort Bragg's another base there too. Uh, trying to get it was from Goldsboro. There's another base, Air Force Base there. So we are right in a circle. We're in the
Okay.
middle. In the middle. And before coming here, uh, I had a job at Sylvania Corporation. They make
Okay.
TVs and all sorts of electronics. And I
I remember their light bulbs.
yeah, well, I quit that place because uh, it got to be a little bit uh, not delicate at all. You know, it's not a good place to have worked at the time.
Okay.
I had been asked to chair, not chair, but be uh, be the head for the uh, computer the computer department, and I would have some training. I would have to go to Raleigh for the training for that position, and there's so many people that were there. I was on the black spot there, so it was a little difficult. But I decided I'd been talking about it. My sister and I've been talking about coming to Washington, and so I said, well, maybe this is the best time to do this, to leave now, and the job was good, and but I decided I wouldn't take it and come to Washington and get a better job. hopefully. So I didn't have a job when I first got here. And I didn't think about doing substitute teaching and nothing at that time.
Okay.
I I got a job working in a department store. Nice nerds is what it was called. Very nice people to work with. And I had fun. And I think about it, that I had already applied for different jobs, and the agency was one of the jobs. Am I loud enough?
Yeah, you're loud enough. The agency was one of the jobs.
Hmm. And so I had what's the other? Uh, mm, I was thinking about the job that was offered to me, but they said that I told them, I said, well, I'm waiting on no, they called to me after. I'm thinking of the company. They called to me after the agency had asked me to come in, and I told them when they called me that was what company was that? Oh, IBM, IBM, I think it
Okay.
was. And they said that they wanted. I told them I had already accepted the position at the agency. So they said, well, why don't you just drop the agency and come to us? So we pay more better than the federal government. I said, yes, you do. I said, but I hadn't applied to you. And I said, well, and I've already accepted the agency, but I didn't know anything about me, the agency. So I said, well, I'll give it a try. And I said, well,
Yeah,
if I don't,
I remember in those days, most folks didn't know about the agency.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
It was not really discussed much outside of people who were looking for explanations.
mhm, right.
So,
So I stuck with continuing my work with niceness until I was called in permanently with the agency. They had finished their investigation, and so there was a little bit to do when going in, doing your paper and everything, filling out
mhm.
your paper for coming in.
How
And
many pages did you have to fill out for their investigation? Because I worked at a casino here and they did a military background for me and it was 22 pages. So I'm betting the agency had a lot more.
I'm about to say, I didn't have too much. I would think that would be a small amount. I don't think that would be a lot because I hadn't been many places.
Mm,
You know,
okay.
okay. And it was nice. When I first got there, it was very, very, very nice. It was nice. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the people. And I said, wow, this is so nice. And then I got my assignment, took the oath. You take the same oath for all federal government people take the same oath.
Hmm.
I think what sounds like it does. And then you had your orientation. Have orientation when you go in. Then you're given your assignment and you're called in and they explain to you what you have to do and what is the assignment. And I didn't have that much background in exactly what I was to do. And it was computer related. And it was okay. And I went into the office. It was okay for a while. It was okay for a while. And
Yeah,
so
what was it you were doing with the computer department? Were you doing data entry?
yeah, data entry, and I was Tricore. That was the uh, were letter mail that came from other countries, government mail that came through the system. it to the president of the United States, and from there went over to the agency. So and
Okay.
and and also a little what is it, teletype stuff that came in from other countries or State Department, places like that, to the president. And the president's respond back. So it all went into the system, that psycho system. And
So you were pretty much trusted.
very much so true. Yeah. And that's where it started, I think. Too many people, I didn't know anybody there at all. Didn't know anybody. And I didn't know what was the protocol, how things work, people wise in your office. And,
Yeah, it takes a while to learn politics.
And they've been there, and a new person coming in and get psycho, and they didn't get it, and it was connected to the direct telecommunications from the White House to other countries. Other countries directly to the White House, the president. Okay. And they didn't. They thought some of the people in that office thought that they should have that position. And actually, I would train people how to train the staff how to use that same system. I was using it, but I was trained myself by, and I don't know who the guy was. I thought it was somebody from outside, but maybe it was somebody from the inside. Okay. Special services. Okay, Snoopy.
That's all right. I have a couple of cats. You might see one in the background.
Because Snoopy's loud. Okay, so
animals have a mind of their own.
Right. So so the fellow that was in charge of training, and he said that he told the people in the office that were so, they were getting all upset. He said, I want to work with her because she seems to have a good idea of what we're doing, what I'm doing, and what I need done, and she knows how to take orders. And so, do what you can say.
Important.
Do it no more.
Yeah, it is. It's important to know how to take orders when you're in that kind of a position.
Yeah, it sure is. Okay, so he was concerned about somebody coming in. They hadn't come in, but must be Kristen, must be back. So that settled that. The guy settled that special operations. So I was in that for a while, doing both that and doing the office. And I think for a minute or two, it still was bothering a couple of people, or either some people in the office. It bothered them. So they wanted the position. It didn't matter to me. It was extra work, right? So
yeah, it's just the job.
Yeah, just a job. So then, that didn't work out too good. But I kept the position, but it didn't. The office situation is what changed. Darrell, you were eating?
Yeah, Darrell had a plate of chili dogs. So yeah, he's busy eating. It's dinner time back east. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now
I'm in California. We just had lunch.
Okay. We haven't had anything yet. I'm not hungry. I eat a lot of food now. Yeah, I gotta lose some weight. And okay, so we did.
Yeah, I could use to lose some weight too.
You're good. This is all me.
Oh, you haven't seen the tummy.
You haven't seen mine. Oh my.
So
And girl, he just trying to like eat like he's a hog. Okay, now so
it's okay.
it's okay. You go ahead and eat, girl. Better than drink. Mm. Oh my. Mm-mm. Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was teasing him about his pink shirt.
uh-huh.
That it matched mine.
Yeah, I tried to put on one like that. It was peachy green. That's actually nah. I
Oh,
found put on that. It was a little brighten up a little bit.
well, you look
So I
great.
left there, and yeah, that's what started the ball rolling with me at the agency, and it didn't go well. Um, and
Yeah, jealousy in your coworkers is a hard thing to fight.
oh, it is, especially if they have been there for a while and they want
Yeah.
to. Yeah, it really, it was something. It was something else. And then they had this. Um, I won't go there. Let me not go there. They had racism a lot there too. So
Well, there was a lot of that
yeah,
during that time frame
hmm,
everywhere.
yeah,
And
terrible. Hmm.
that was one of the things that my political efforts of that time frame were about racism and sexism
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
because we were losing a lot of good people that could have really contributed just because of somebody else's prejudices.
Hmm. That's terrible. That's really terrible. You know, mm, my head of department. I don't know what you call it. And then it's I have my way. I'm the top dog, and you can't listen to a peon. Um,
Mm.
uh, Too many people talking, and they see it only their way, and it was just and the fellow that brought me uh in to do that cycle, he said, "What kind of place is this?" He said,
Yeah.
"Yeah," he said, "Wow, yeah, it's the." But those people had already made up their mind who they wanted, if it was to be, and it was to be, and they wanted to put it in that office, and it was going to be in that office, and that was really a tough time, and then the work, and they used a lot of plantation type system. Uh, I tried to get out of the office to go to be transferred to other offices, and I asked to have my file to have there. I asked first let me see the file, and then I asked them, "Will you have? Could you send my file to this office, and this office?" Not calling any names, but offices to go to. And having done that, I found out, well, again, if they don't want anybody in their office that doesn't look like them, by
Uh,
sending my folder out, I definitely wouldn't get it if they didn't turn but one page, the page that has my picture on it. So that would kill it. No need of reading it. He just, no, you just, you know.
yeah.
So everywhere I was turning, it was, and but some that refusals were because I didn't have enough time in. That I can understand. I can understand that. But those areas that you didn't need a whole lot of time in, uh, and then you could say, well, that's not a good thing, the way
Yeah.
they were doing it. I said, well, if I'm trying to get a position at the agency, See, and I do have college background, and and if I send my folder and they don't want anyone there, my color in their thing, I think it was only about 3, 4. There's a, no, there's a good bit in that room. Even called, even had one lady even called. It's such a plantation system. It makes you just irks you. One lady was called Lulabelle. You know, her name wasn't Lulabelle. It was the one that
So
the
they
lady.
were rude about it. They weren't the kind that sat back and just did it. They were the kind that were in your face with it.
Oh, oh, yes. I asked the lady, I said, why do you let them call you that? That's not your name. I said, why don't you come? And you know, I'm not one that I sit back and let you roll over on me just to get a grade. I
Yeah.
worked for it. I worked for my grade, and I had worked, and I came in a little higher than some of the others, and that's all due to the fact that of college education that you have, how
Yeah.
much college you have, and
Yeah. College used to matter a lot.
mm-hmm, should still be, it should. That's so, but it didn't, and that was some of the steps to first go in, and you stepped on before you can make another step. You know, your your direction is not even a good direction to go in. So that's why I went around and said, well, let me send my folder around to different offices and see if with what qualifications I have, will someone pick me up rather than, and I can stay my same grade. It doesn't matter. And so when I went, some people just didn't, it just passed the folder on. They
Yeah.
didn't waste any time. They passed it on because the picture was there. And so then there's some that did uh, look at the folder and made comments, but only that I didn't have enough qualifications for what they were looking for, the qualifications they were looking for, which that was, who could believe all that? And because you can learn, you can learn a lot of things, and just like learning that cycle, it was not a difficult task. The thing was, they told me that now some don't look at it, don't read it, don't open it up and read it. I said, well, let's see what we can do. Make sure it doesn't open, but it opens, and so you know what you're doing, you know what you're working with, so you know how uh, not to have too many people around you, because you don't want to say that you allow them to read what wasn't supposed to be read from the president from another country or State
Yeah.
Department, from anybody, or the president. He's
Those were some pretty
it's hard to
secret
get
things.
around. It's hard to get around your folder going out, and your picture was on it. So it became an issue. I think maybe they may not be doing it with your picture any longer now, because filing a lawsuit against the agency, that was I think one of the things that got off the plate for other people. Uh, and see, they didn't just have Black Americans, and they had, Asians and all types of
Yeah.
people.
Well, there should,
Uh-huh.
government should include everybody in the country.
Yeah, uh-huh. So some of them, um, they were under the same situation. They were under the same
Yeah.
situation. Just they didn't pacify. And one office I went into, and the lady asked me, this, I mean, this lady was not, she was a white American, but she was of age that she was not ready to retire. And
Okay.
she always thought somebody was going in there. They sent somebody in there to take her job. And she asked me,
Well, they did used to do that to older women.
yeah, well, she wasn't all that old. And
Um, older meant anyone over 40 in
mm,
those days.
mm, mm, mm,
So yeah, that was something that they did to older women.
well, she was so afraid. And so I calmed her down and to let her know that don't no they're not going wouldn't you're doing pretty good over yourself. So she had a all she was managing a all one one Spanish lady was there, younger was there, and I went in as a to do an assignment in there, and it was top secret.
Mhm.
Everybody throughout the world was in that office area,
Okay.
and I did a special project on that. And so I did that. So I did a special project on that, and it was she that relieved her. Mhm. And that was okay. But it was okay. But I don't think the people even talk much in there. I don't think you could do too much talking because of the type
Yeah.
work that you were doing. You had to make sure that you're putting the right people with the right people. And you can't come out with 4 children and you really have 8.
Yeah.
That would mess up something. Okay, so that's why they have to have a little quietness in there. Just,
Yeah. When you're doing detailed work and it's
mhm.
important to get the details right,
Yeah, I like that word detail. But okay, so
so
that was all right. It was nice. And I did a lot of special project work too. Um,
so that would have included my packet and others in my area. I don't know what they call us. I know we call ourselves the Secret Space Program, and I've used the term secret space related black ops.
mm-hmm,
So
right.
I have no idea what the agency actually calls us.
Black. Yes, and that was very interesting too. All that stuff was very interesting. Mm.
Finding out
But
what was really being done.
yeah, mm-hmm, yeah, there's a lot being done too.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. That's
yeah,
something
I
you got to
had the feeling that what I was in didn't even scratch the surface of what's being done.
lightly, lightly, lightly.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned the other day, because somebody mentioned somewhere on TV or somewhere, they were talking about, I said, well, one minute now, why would I hear something like this about those hybrids? And I said, now why would that come through the air now? Something's going on. And I can't remember exactly what it was about, but I said, now somebody is in the air. Something is in the air because too much is being talked about hybrids and people who went into uh, another area from.
Well, they've been bringing up the super soldiers, the folks that have been injected with things, DNA and chemicals to make them stronger than normal,
Yeah.
because France and China have both admitted to doing it already.
Oh.
Now, I know lots of people from all over, mostly Americans, but some Canadians, Australian, and even Russians who are in that community trying to make peace with themselves about what was done to them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that the super soldiers have been going on since at least the 1940s.
Yeah, it says way back.
And
What
the,
is?
the stuff that happened to us, my community, it's all, we're talking 60, 70 years ago is when it started, but it's just now making the papers.
Mm.
So I guess they're going to make it public and use people like us in the regular military now. That's the
Yeah, I
feel.
look up there.
That's the feel that we have is that they're going to
That
be,
military, right?
that it's going to be the regular military. It's not going to be a black op anymore.
Mm.
And I also understand that they've released videos of spaceships,
Mm-hmm.
but what they haven't told people is that all of those they've released were American made.
Right.
So they have not yet exposed any actual extraterrestrials.
Uh-huh. You
So,
know, the thing I didn't find out was the man that the person that came, it was the space craft crashed to Earth. I didn't find out. I don't think I read so much. You lose interest and you keep it on going. It's like a
yeah,
movie. Uh, that
talking
person,
about Roswell.
yeah, that person. When he told them that he would help this country with building craft. He told them that um, he could build them, and he even said that he could build them, help him to get built if they helped him get well, because he was injured. He was shot down,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I understood that he was injured and eventually died, that they were trying to help save him.
there were some. I don't think he did. I don't think so. No,
Oh,
I think
okay.
this man, he
That's
was
the story they've been telling, is that he died.
no. Yeah, I don't think he died. No,
Okay.
because this man was way too strong. He told him, said, okay, so I I want the best. He wants the best doctor, and he said he told one person that there was a he said, you can't fool me. I know who can do it, and I can, and the injury that he had, and it wasn't like it was a fast need to hurry up and have it done type thing.
Okay.
Didn't feel like it. I mean, didn't not feel. It didn't
Read
sound.
like it.
Oh no, it didn't sound right. Because he said that, okay, so y'all making plans behind the door. I said, but I don't care how thick the door is, what kind of material the door is made from. I can hear you. He said, I don't need to really hear you. I can read your thoughts. He said,
Mhm.
so he knows what they're thinking about and what they were trying to plan to do. He said it won't work. Nothing will work.
Yeah, the ones that I've interacted with in space are all telepathic.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
So it wouldn't work. So I don't think he passed. I think that he got the right operation, and because he knew what he needed.
okay, that always helps.
He knew what he needed, and he said that he would help if you can do this for me, then I'll do this for you. Said, but if you can't do this for me, we all gonna they gonna all die. They will all die. So he was not he wasn't gonna play with me. He was
Well,
not
I
playing.
don't blame him.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He said, you can't help me, then all of us gonna die. And then he said, I could have helped you with the planes that we have here that crash, and
Mhm.
I could help you, showing you exactly how to build them. I'll stay here and build them. So they would have, I think they would have taken good care of him. I don't think they were going to, was stupid enough that they think if the man told you that he knows your thoughts, he know what you're thinking about. I don't think it's stupid enough to try to get him because he could do them now, right then at that time.
Well, yeah, there's an amazing number of people out there that don't believe you when you say you can read their thoughts.
But you can. Some people have the ability to read some thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Some people's minds are really loud and you have to work at not listening.
Right.
I'm sorry. Did I just blurt that out?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the abilities that they left me with when they brought me back.
Yeah.
So
you do well, don't you?
I try. Yeah, you've processed my packet, so you know what my abilities were, don't you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Always are.
I've done a lot of things out there that would have been criminal here.
Scare you to death.
But they were things that I had to do because I was military and those were my orders.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you do or don't. Whichever way.
You either do it or they kill you on the spot for disobeying orders.
That's right.
And when you're on a spaceship, that's really easy to do. They just put you out the airlock.
I was thinking too. I think I've been mentioning it to Darrell. You wonder how, as time go by, that you were in different circumstances, you were in different places. Mm-hmm. How did you get to those places? How did you get into those places? Those are questions. And I don't know if I told you this, but when I was about 6 or 7, and my sister and my brother, all 3 of us, and I think I said I was going to ask one of the neighbors because we used to play together a lot, so we were they part of that. We a red object came down, and it seemed as though we were playing, and we noticed that, and we noticed how it was concentrating on us, and that it was coming down. It was coming down. Come down a little bit more, and I said, "Wow, we better get away from here." I said, "They seem like they want us to come in. They want us to try to catch us." And so my brother said, "Let's run." So we ran in the house, and we ran in the house. We jumped in bed, and everybody jumped in bed. And I peeked out the window, and there's that same red object. The ball.
I got a question. Was it a ball?
Yeah, ball.
Okay, Penny. There's my story I told on air last time about the red ball that I saw at the window.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue. Yeah. Go ahead. I just had to hop in because I was in shock just then because it happened to you around the same age. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? Oh, excuse me. Let me know. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
It was during the hurricane down in North Carolina, and we were at 24K Drive, and I saw this red ball come in front of the window, and I dipped underneath the bed, and I didn't come out. Afterwards, I looked and I saw it going past slowly, and then it went straight up.
Yes, you did.
All right, go ahead. Y'all continue. I'm done.
How old were you then?
like 6,
Whew.
7 years old. We were at 2224K Drive, Smithfield. So I'll never forget that ball because it scared the living daylights out of a little boy. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done now. Go ahead. Mhm.
So as it came down, did it get smaller?
I didn't see it come down. It went right in front of the house.
Okay.
It went right in front of my window and stayed hovering in front of it. Just almost like that. Remember when you pulled me out the bathtub and I was taking a shower and that green spider was there?
Yes.
We don't have tree spiders. I mean, tree frogs, green tree frogs in North Carolina.
Oh, you don't? We do.
But there was a green tree frog. I mean, it had the 5 big fingers on it.
Yeah.
And my mom snatched me out the shower. We don't have that species of frog in North Carolina. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
Well,
you just blew your mom's mind, you know?
I saw it and I grabbed it real quick. This ain't nothing to it. Grabbed it real quick. Wow. Whatever happened to that thing? I don't even know. My memory lost on that.
We never caught the frog. The frog disappeared, I guess.
Wow. That was something.
Cause it was.
I'm scared. It's scary.
Yeah, that was a weird situation because we don't have that breed of frog. The frogs we have in North Carolina are toads. But this was one of those big, like, came out of the Amazon type frogs. You know, it wasn't big. It was a small one with yellow lips and big and little 5 fingers. You could see the fingers, but it was on the wall.
Now I don't know.
And this was in North Carolina, and we don't have that breed of frog. I'm starting with the statement. We don't have that breed of frog down south, but that's okay. Go back. Going
back to the
yeah. Go back to your ball, Mom. Yeah, because I'm kind of messed up now.
So you guys, different generations, saw basically the same ball of light.
It was. And you knew. You know, there had never been any conversation about it.
Yeah, I don't know what the red balls are. I have not interacted with those myself.
Okay, I was asking because I know it was drawing us. It was drawing us to come to it.
Yeah.
To stand there and wait for it to come down or some kind of way to pull us up there. It was pulling. And
you all got away okay?
All of us got away.
Good.
All of us got away. And I think Louis said, Doris, you see it? I said, yeah, I'm seeing it. I said, it's right up there. I said, you want to look out? Look out. I don't know if she looked out now. I said, it's right up there, Louise. I said, I'm not gonna get closer to the window because I don't know what it can do. I said, but I said, and then I said, listen, we just got to pray. We got to get this thing away from us. And at that time, prayer, I was praying. We went to church all the time. And that really got me. And it seems as though, it seems as though that I was having a conversation mentally. I was having that telepathic conversation, and it wanted me to come out, and it wouldn't be long. Said, we won't keep you long. I'm the first man here. I'm not
liars.
I'm not going out. I am not going out. And he said, I believe it was a man, but whatever it was, it would say, it won't be long. It's just like when I was hearing the choir and the instrument in the air, and I couldn't move. My feet couldn't even get off the ground. My mother called me. I was trying to go, but I had to stay to hear it, had to stay and just listen to Oh, it was so soothing. The choir, the voices were all together. The melodic voices are beautiful. Oh, it's just beautiful. Then they just carry that picture up, and then it's as if you could be floating. It was so beautiful, and the instruments was beautiful. There was no horns. They didn't have horns. They used the string.
Mhm.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that was one time I couldn't move. My feet wouldn't let me move. And I tried, but I couldn't go. My
Mhm.
mother said, "What took you so long?" And I told her, I said, she said, "Oh, I heard that when I was young. When I was a little girl, I heard it." So you heard the choir. I said, "Yes, I did." And then she said, I said, "It's so beautiful, Mama." She said, "Yeah, so you finally heard it." So she said, "You finally heard it." So I wonder, did somebody else in the family hear anything?
I don't want to say a word, okay? I'm just gonna shut up. That's all I'm gonna
What
say.
did you
I'm
hear? Have you
shutting
heard?
up. I'm not saying what I heard in the sky. Mom, this is weird. I'm listening to this and I'm like,
What? You guys never
so
talk?
we don't talk about these things, you know. Mom is one of
See,
Oh,
those church Christian people, and you know what I'm saying automatically. And then me on the other side, I'm not church Christian. They try to get me to be that way, but it ain't working. I see there's more to life than what is
it is.
that was being printed. I
Okay.
mean, when I became a publisher, I took note of what's being printed, and books are printed. They are also edited. They are also corrected according to the will of the editor. So that's the statement I tell people when it comes to the
I got 3 books for you. I, through my
yeah.
collection that I've been going through and finding. Oh boy, I got books that you want. You want those books. You want them.
for my audience who don't know, Doris is Odin's mother. So this is a family affair show. So
It's fine.
I'm sitting here listening to these two and going, you guys never talk?
But Penny, the strange thing is that, even Michael Horn, he's listening now. Hey, Michael, he just sent me a message and I'm listening. Um, I have to say that the things that we're discussing now has a lot of relevance. I
They
mean,
do. They do.
and
They're important. That's why I bring them up is these things
And you
are
know what?
important.
Let me tell you this too. Even though willingly I didn't go anywhere,
Yeah.
I have somewhere I have a feeling that I did have contact with someone,
Okay.
and
In my community,
oh God, here she goes.
we we talk about something called a cover memory.
Right.
That when you have an abduction and you go somewhere and meet things, that they will give you a pretty memory for afterwards so that you're not scared. And most of us have eventually learned to do self-hypnosis so that we can get past the cover memory and see what really happened. Now, if you're happy with the cover memory, you don't need to do that. Some of them are pretty damn scary. So,
I remember not being under another circumstance. I can remember coming to Earth.
okay.
I can remember how did I tell you about the Ferris wheel, the merry-go-round?
Oh, tell her about the merry-go-round. I
Tell
know
me
what.
about the merry-go-round. I haven't heard this one.
okay, this is when I met Jesus.
You
And
met Jesus?
that's
Okay.
I know that to be a fact. I was a little girl. I always looked a girl. I think this time I may have been a little girl, maybe because I was a whiny. I whined. I was a tantrum. I whined and it
Well,
but
I
didn't
was a
bother.
Libra and I was a whiny brat.
You were whiny.
Yeah, I was a whiny brat and I would sit and pout if I didn't get my way.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. That's it. And so but like I told him, I said, oh, he was, he's telling me it was about time for me to get ready to go. And he wanted to show me uh, where I'll be going. And he said, well, you know, you've been with me for a while. And, oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. I got to remember this one. That's a little bit different. That's a little different.
Ah,
Something's coming through. Now, so I went, he carried me to this a higher area, and the first wheel was on the ground, and I was on the ground too, but it was a little bit up from where the Ferris wheel was. That Ferris wheel, what the children do, you know, on the ground, where it goes
The Ferris wheel is the one that
up
goes.
high. No,
No,
that's the wrong one. This is
the
on
one,
the
yeah,
ground.
the merry-go-round
Merry-go-round, that's it.
around.
Yeah, so
Or a
I
carousel.
right.
carousel.
All right. So what happened was we got up there and I said, oh, he's gonna show me where I'll be going. And I said, oh wow, you know, all this and that one. And I'm so happy, you know. Okay, I'm going, I can go there because it's nice. He just build it up. You know, he just know you can build it up for me and that's it. So he built it up and he said, okay, did he ever call my name? He said, okay, now I'm gonna show you where you are going. And I said, oh, we were picking out houses.
Huh?
And he's picking out houses. So um, he said, okay, so wait a minute. I said, I know, I want to go there. I want to go there. And so he said, wait a minute. He let it go through. He trying to let it go by so he can be convincing that he'll know that he didn't have a chance. I don't have a chance. You can't get that one. So but then he did say it. He said, oh, too late. I said, what you mean too
Oh,
late? I said, I want that house. That's what I want to be born into. That type of situation. Wealth. Put it like that. And I said, I want that house. I want it beautiful houses, beautiful windows, beautiful, all that beautiful light, all that extreme cleanliness. I want that one, you know. And he said, nope, it's too late. I said, too late? Oh, can't be. Can't be too late. I said, I want that. That's the one I want. And then I just went on and just had my little chance. And he said, no, but it's gonna come around again. And
you sound like me,
yeah,
temper
yeah.
tantrum.
And so he said, no, he said, I know it's coming now. It's getting ready to come around. So you get ready. So get ready because your where you going is coming now. And I said, oh, that little house. Ugh, ugh. I said, oh, I don't want to go there. He said, but that lady there, you will love her. I said, she is so nice. I said, okay. I want that house that had all that chandeliers and stuff, and lights and
Those chandeliers are a pain in the butt to clean.
Oh, yes,
well,
they
that was
are.
all right. It's all right. Don't worry about the cleaners. They're probably just bright and pretty. You see it through the windows. This big, huge house and all that.
No, no, I have never lived with in a house with chandeliers, but I used to do housekeeping for people that had them.
and it was hard to clean.
They're a pain in the butt.
Well,
They're beautiful,
that
but
was
they're a pain in the butt.
so now we got past that, and he said, "We're past that. You can't go there." And I was so angry with him. And he said, "Now, come on now. I'm gonna show you where you're going. I'm gonna show you where you're going. He did call my name. And I'm gonna show you where. I said, but I wanted to go there. He said, well, you can't go there now because it's too late. It's past. It's past you, so you can't go there. And when he brought this is when this other little house, little tiny house, it was compared to the brick house and the chandeliers and all them windows and beautiful house. Oh, that was just fantastic. So I just so when he said, okay, this is where you're going. And then he said, I said, I don't want that house. He said, well, when you go, this lady there is where you go, and she's a beautiful, sweet lady, nice lady. You will love her. But she'll treat you so nice, and that's where you want. You'll be going. I said, but, and she was sitting at the kitchen table, small, and she had an apron on. And I said, I don't know what the feel was. Small, the smallness. I didn't want the smallness. Maybe I used to smallness where I was there before walking over to the Ferris wheel. And I'm trying to figure out how it seems like behind me were houses and small, but they were but it was somewhere. It looked like a store, a little store like in the background, like if you walk into a drive or 7-Eleven, back then,
Okay.
no cement on it, just dirt. And maybe that was cement, I don't know. But it was small. And going up there, so now here comes the little house. So my lover. And he said, Doris, yes, he did know my name. He called me Doris. He said, Doris, now this is where you're going. And she's such a she's a good woman. So you gonna love her. And I said, but I really don't want to. I wanted that house. I wanted a house that had the woman in the house. She was in our house with the chandelier. He said, no, you going there. And when he said you're going there, that was the last of the conversation. That was the last of the conversation. And so she got pregnant, and here I am. Well, maybe she was pregnant then. No, she was pregnant when he told me I had to go there. So that was the pregnancy right there. And so then maybe I had some kind of a water birth. The doctor didn't come back during that time. Doctors came to deliver you, and somebody got to the doctor and said you had a hair up, so she's having the baby. Well, the baby was born, and she had heard me gurgling after all the pain that she had gone through to have me, and so she picked me up, and she said I had to bend down to get you because you were gurgling in water. So I don't know how that was. I'm trying to figure that out. How was it that she was, and then I was, flat bed or whatever, and you got enough water that's gonna get in your nose and all, try to make you drown, whatever. That's another thing. So then later on, in years later, she told me that her mother she died when her mother died when she was 12. And she was 23, 24 when she had me. And so my mother told me, she said, my mother came. She said, well, I had a strange birth with you. She said, when my mother came, I said, your mother? She said, yeah, your mother came and said to me, I just came to see the baby. And she said, the way she said it, how she said, she said to her, God gave her permission to come to see the baby. And she already had one child. The older was the girl. The
Mhm.
other was the girl. But she came, but she said she got permission to come to see me. And
Okay, so who gave her permission?
God,
You're using words. Who gave the permission?
God.
Did she say the word God? Or did we add the word? You gotta think. You
Uh,
gotta think.
God, I think she said God gave her permission to
But why would somebody,
come see the baby. That's what she,
why wouldn't that
oh, well, maybe
entity
she
that
said Jesus
comes,
gave her permission.
hold on, my question is, why wouldn't that entity that comes to see the baby say God? Wouldn't they know the name of God?
Okay, there.
Trying to give a hint. There's a lot of things that I've been wondering. Why is it that all the time you see people and they talk about the dead came and they said this and they say that, but in 90% of the time they never say God. But hold on, the other part is
Maybe she said Jesus gave her
they
permission.
wouldn't say Jesus either. Let's try this again. Why would they not say God? They would not, they would, why would they say God instead of the true name of the creator? That's something that I've always wondered. No one has ever said the true name.
No, they didn't never use the name.
Excuse
Other than
me.
Jesus,
No, they never used the true name, period.
not even true name of Jesus.
So let's try this again. I'm trying to narrow things into thought. If you are an alien and you've embodied a human spirit, or you are the human spirit and you're an alien, you would fit within the mode of talking to people on this planet in the terms that we know because of such juvenile thoughts. But on the other side, if you are a true alien and you come to this planet, wouldn't you know the name of God?
Well, maybe that alien.
We're not maybe an alien or a spirit being would know the true name because they would have known God, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. That's just a thought, because then we dip into the Anunnaki thoughts. And when they came here, the three came here. I wonder why we got the three, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Then we got the three Anunnaki, which came before the
Which
ideology of
were brother, half brother, and half sister.
sister.
Hmm.
But hold on, there's your Trinity again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you catching my drift, Penny? Penny caught it real quick. Why won't they ever say the true name?
I'm doing some research. I'm getting ready to get into it.
See, listen, mom.
You're
Now my
gonna
mom.
go down a really deep rabbit hole with that one, honey.
I did go. That rabbit hole is so deep because first of all, you have to get where our ideology of the belief system comes from. Even the Bible, most of the words are found in the old tablets, which is considered the emerald tablets, and information found within. The whole Bible is basically found in there. But that's another way of looking at it,
Well,
and that's before
the Bible is like
published.
the pyramid texts from Egypt mixed with the Sumerian tablets, and they mixed them together and then rewrote them to be just one God.
Which there were multiple.
Which originally there were multiple, because they were not gods, they were extraterrestrials. And that's why when you read these original texts, they have different personalities, because they were much more like people than what we imagine God to be. But they worshiped something that they called the creator of all that is. And that's the closest that I've seen from any extraterrestrial to how most humans consider God.
Right. And that's where I was trying to get to basically when you're a spirit, does the spirit really go anywhere? Or does it become part of the club? There's so many thoughts. I'm off. Look, there I go again. I opened my damn mouth. I knew to shut the hell. I need a drink. Bye.
Okay. Since we've gotten off topic anyway.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
One of the questions that
No.
Darrell gave me to ask you was, why are CIA people killed in water like Director Casey was? I don't know. Am I stepping into a shit pile and don't know it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, don't mean it.
Okay, so come on with the question. Answer, Ma. Why are they mostly killed in water? You found them drowned. You find them on their boat. You hear it. You hear it. You know what time it is already. You found them drowning. You found their boats exploding. I mean, everything in mostly all those situations you see agency personnel dying in, or they get shot up in some kind of skirmish that, or a pillow put over their face.
I think when Casey was supposed to have been dead.
He died in, listen, he died on the Potomac River.
Director Casey had an appointment to talk to Dr. Greer. And he was found dead in the river instead.
I wonder how what would be the point of going to the river that day when you know you got Dr. Greer?
Right.
It don't add up. Too many things don't add. I'm sorry, I gotta go back to drinking.
When the inauguration of Carter. Yeah, I think it was Carter.
Okay, Carter.
I had we had our mother up here, my sister and we were coming from the inauguration on the bus. Was it time? No, that's it. I don't believe that was time. But he came on the bus. I don't think there was time, but there was a time that I was on the bus and my sister was with me. And he was on the bus already. And we were in Georgetown, going back home.
That was during the time that people used to, hey, I'm rich and famous. Like, what's the name? Richard Simmons used to walk through Georgetown.
Yeah.
Most of the stars and celebrities of today's were.
That was before everybody started being afraid of being shot.
That was before everybody became afraid of Homeland Security. We're the U.S. government. We're here to protect you.
Yeah.
Even bands and clubs bands and superstars used to go to clubs back in those days and perform live. I know you remember the good days.
I went to a hamburger joint in Los Angeles, and damn it, I blanked on his name. Opie from
Happy Days.
Yeah.
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard was sitting with his lady at the next table over.
Yeah.
They used to actually eat with regular people.
And they know you could recognize him.
Oh yeah, he knew I recognized him, and I sat there and I was cool. I was like, oh cool, we got a celebrity at the next table over. Keep eating.
I mean, I've gone to places. I give you one. I used to go to the McDonald's right there before we go to Georgetown, and right after the club we go to there. Because you drunk as hell, you gotta grab some grub. You know what I mean? And I was in there with Christy Brinkley. And I was like, you're a young kid. And Christy, but she was just like a normal chick,
Most of those celebrities are normal people.
I mean,
we used to all know this, that they're normal people.
People, they use the bathroom like you and they eat like you. I
Yeah.
mean, when I was younger,
And when they're out on a date with their chick, you leave them alone.
leave them alone. Here's a good one. I was at a club. I used to go to Trax nightclub, and then from there I go to the Fifth Column because we used to do the up all nights, clubbing. And I came home with Sia, the singer,
He did.
songwriter.
And she slept on the floor.
She slept on the sofa.
No, she was on the floor.
On the floor, yeah.
No, we were looking at, we had somebody else there.
It was late at night. We came in from the club and just brought her home.
It's better than letting her sleep it out on the street.
Yeah, I said, but honey, I said, that couch, I said, somebody got to look at.
Mom didn't even know who she was.
I didn't know who she was. I really didn't.
I mean,
a lot of the people that are famous with the young people, I wouldn't know who they were. I stopped watching regular TV a long time ago.
I wouldn't.
I'm on a limited income. Believe it or not.
Let me get back to Casey.
Oh yeah. Hold
Okay.
on. Let me say right quick. I swear that man didn't die. He resurrected like Michael, my former next door neighbor. Continue, Mom.
Okay, about Casey.
I said, hey, you look like my former boss. I said, you look like my boss. And he said, who your boss? And he said, I said, Casey, you look just like my boss, Casey. And he said, oh, I do. And he said, well, I mean, he has a lot of lookalikes.
It has a lot of lookalikes. Okay.
Yeah. So that was the first time somebody had said that, because it was him. And did he get off first? We left him on the. No, right after I told him that, he got off the bus. That's what it was.
He didn't want anybody knowing his business.
And he said, how far y'all going? I said, we're going to DuPont Circle. I said, so we got there right at 23rd Street and DuPont Circle. And he got so many things. I have had conversations with people that I didn't even really know. So what he said was more or less, he is Casey, but that was it. Now, he is at a time. And somebody else.
Don't forget Mike.
Somebody else I know. Who was that?
Our boy Mike next door, around the corner from us.
Yeah, right.
He was a good one too. I can tell you personally, he died 4 times.
He did.
Yeah, and he got another name now.
Mike.
Mike.
Mike. Boy. Let me tell you something. He was a young boy. He a young guy, Mike. He was young. We were older, my sister and I. And Mike, he would come through because he knew he just freaked us out. We said, wow, we ain't seen nothing like it. We ain't seen nobody like him before. Mike would come to, he had a negligee. He's Navy.
Okay.
Negligee. And see, he just wasn't the worst about it. He said, and we would look up, not to try to just view him, because we had already imagined that that's what it was. And when he had him, and he would come in and say, just to have fun with my sister and I. He would come to the house, he said, oh, and knock on the door. And I said, oh my God, Mike. I said, Lee, you got on the lingerie. I said, but I don't know how far it goes. And he said, open up. It's Michael. I said, Lord, have mercy. Open the door. I said, yes. He said,
oh, back in the day when people actually knocked on the door. Oh.
That's the part.
People in my apartment complex, my partner Lou is the apartment manager, and they'll knock on the door and then they'll just open up and come in.
Oh no. Oh no.
They're lucky I'm dressed most of the time they do that.
Yeah. And I think even Sister Dorothy. Didn't she experience Michael one time, Darrell?
Yes, he was standing on the porch on his
Oh,
balcony with no clothes on.
it's just the
He
same.
loved doing that. Okay, it was
He
he'd be
like to
out
freak
airing
the
it
girls
out.
out. He like to freak us all out, you know. And he said, and Sister Dorothy said, "Oh my God,
Was he pretty?
he was a handsome man. Good.
That man,
Oh,
he's look. When I say he's Navy,
oh, he
he's
was good.
Navy, and he's the first one that I've known in my life to have a tattoo that only appeared in dark light.
Good. Great.
Oh my.
That boy was.
All down his back.
Oh my God. It's not like that. I think he must have about the same rank that the fellow that came to my. I filed suit against the agency for racial discrimination and all this. So when we had the trial, this Stanfield Turner's associate, what do you call him? He would work for Stanfield. And I forgot his name, but I know his name, but I forgot his name. And he came to court, and when he walked through there with his uniform on, all dressed like Michael come home in the afternoon sometime and had his uniform on, and then he looked for Michael, and Michael was down to that see-through smoking jacket. And he just, and you look at Michael, and you say, wow. You said, wow, with the uniform, and he said, ooh. Right there, so nice. And then he come to our door, going back to Michael, so I can finish that off. I went back to the door, walked to the door and said, and we opened the door after he said, open the door. And I said, we have our eyes up in the sky, in the air, or in the room, in the apartment.
Anything to avoid looking at him.
Yeah, looking at him. He said, oh, y'all can look at me. You can look at me. It's all right. I said, no, we won't go no further around here. I said, this is far enough. He said, but I have a girl. I said, I'm going to take a chance. So he just knew that he was really getting us. And but the day that he saw sister, the nun,
Dorothy.
Yes.
Victor.
That's what I said there.
Dr. Victor, the nun, the head of Sacred Heart School, former head of Sacred Heart School and principal. Yeah, he went all out to the point where he was showing off.
Smoking jacket on there. It's not smoking jacket.
Yeah, he had top covered at least.
See through. Didn't need nothing on because they already just a thin piece. And sister said, oh, I said, what is it, sister? She said, oh my Lord. She said, come over here, daughter. She said, Louise, come over here. Is this what I'm at? Do I see anything? What do I see? I said, yeah, that's him. That's mine. That's mine. Don't miss it. All right. Just wave at him and turn around. He knew he got a nun now. He said, oh, he done ruined. He ruined her. And brought sister up for dinner. And sister loved to come to our house to eat because we had good Southern cooking. And we had mostly I like vegetables. So we had a lot of vegetables. And sister just loved a lot of vegetables and not a whole lot of meats and stuff. And I didn't know it because we had never discussed about food exactly. So when I said we had dinner, we had a come for dinner. And sister she was flabbergasted. She said, boy, I enjoyed this. I didn't even think.
It wasn't the food. It wasn't looking out the window.
And she said, Darrell. Darrell used to joke at sister. Joke. And
so you had a neighbor that liked to show off his body, and you had a
nun.
sister nun that was running the school you went to. This is just
at the school. Louis.
Yes, this is the way life was then.
Yeah,
And everybody would come to dinner together, and you'd be going, oh.
And that boy was something else. That boy.
Well, most of the people in the building were agency.
And
most of them, or diplomats,
yeah,
or
uh-huh.
State Department, or other specialized areas of
All
government.
covered.
It was all, the one apartment building was basically the housing of all. And DuPont Circle is an area still known today for its Central Intelligence living quarters.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Mhm.
And they didn't know it when they moved there.
Mhm.
And
We got a nice
and
one. It was cheap.
Doris grew up in that building and got a job at the CIA. Okay.
And not,
Yes, guys, when
uh,
she says the agency, that is which agency?
oh, that's only one agency.
Yeah,
I don't even have to say it.
yeah, that is it. That is, actually, there's another agency, but it's not human.
It's talent agency.
When
Or are we talking OSS?
you work with the Germans in space, you interact with another agency that belongs to the Draco Empire. And they operate along similar lines. There is no retirement, there is no leaving them. Only they keep you more than one lifetime.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I told them I was resigning, and they said, good luck with that.
Yeah, that's right.
And laughed.
Uh-huh. There's no resignation.
New resignations.
I have a question for Penny now.
Yeah.
Do you believe that when we go or pass, we go to a alternate timeline to continue our mission? I mean, if you look at the thoughts behind that, you don't really die. You actually flow to another timeline to continue the cause that you are
Well,
on.
you know, the last time that I talked about having been dead and sent back, you told me we were past Easter. So you're asking a question related to my death experiences. And I have been dead 7 times in this body that I know of, plus the one that your mom knows about. So I've gone a different place every time. Okay, it hurts like hell to die. You're ripped out. And then you wake up in another body, or what feels like another body, somewhere else. And there are various places for these somewhere else's. I've woke up as basically see-through and floating in a warm liquid golden colored light. I've woke up inside a body in a stasis pod. I woke up inside a body in a stasis pod that was attached to a computer. The last time I died, last September, I woke up in a place that the ancient Greeks called Elysium. It was a happy place for heroic souls. And I had a couple of archangels literally drag my ass out of there and plop me back in my body. By the way, when you're put back in your body, it hurts just as much as when you died. And they don't always fix what you died from, so you're still in shitty shape. So
when these, let me get this part here quick. When you die and you're leaving, you're on that course of leaving, going.
It hurts.
It's a thrust. It's a boom. It's a thrust. So
yeah, there's a thrust.
I caught my mother. I caught her. She was going so fast, whoop, like that. But I caught it, and it said, so she said, "Don't turn me loose, because what did she say? Turn me loose.
When you're being
So you
pulled
can't
out,
go down. If you can't go, you hurt yourself.
exactly.
It was.
I've known people who tried to go with their loved one, and they've ended up with paralysis and all kinds of problems.
It pull my chest. My chest felt like it was being torn out when she told me that I turned her loose. So, because I couldn't go with her. I couldn't go. So what I did turn her loose, and I felt much better. I said, wow. But I said, now, this is really something to look more into is death.
Mhm.
Is death or is it life? That's the question. Are we really dead, or I mean, are we dead? Is the
I've
question.
often wondered if this is the dream or nightmare and I'm really alive somewhere else.
Thank you. That's what I've always tried to say.
But at the same time, if I'm really alive somewhere else, why did I end up someplace different every time I died?
I can give you the answer to that. Timelines, dimensions, alternate realities. We know they're all real.
Yeah, we know they're all real. I try to avoid that topic because so many in my community think that there's a new timeline every time you pick your nose, and there isn't.
There isn't.
So,
no, they're already established. They've been there. They're not changing. In fact, you can go back to the statement I was talking about earlier with the, the three Anunnaki. Take a look at the stories that they've told and how those quote unquote gods, one was sent away. But hold on, my question is, why did those quote unquote aliens or gods, whichever you want to call them, want to be with us humans, and how are they able to survive or hop timelines? No one talks about those things. Maybe, something. I want Billy Carson on your show. I'm bringing you Billy.
I would be happy to have him. I was shocked he was on your show because I was told he wasn't available until October.
Oh, that's my boy. Come on now.
Hey, I would love to have him on my show.
I'm messaging him right now.
And yes, I did make contact through his channels. So that was probably what I did wrong, was going through channels instead.
No, come to me. Yeah, I got I got the phone book of all the big boys.
Well, I will tell you what I've got scheduled already, and you can fill him in wherever he wants to be. So there are people I feel that way about. Then there are others that I have their email, or I'm friends on Facebook with, and I will pester them to death. And I am not above saying, "Oh, you're too good to be on my show, huh?" And about that time, they're like, "Damn it, Penny. Okay."
So yeah, I got the hint.
Yeah, So,
but now there's another thing too. There's I may need to concentrate a little bit more on this. I need to I don't know if I told you about my grandson dying.
No.
Well, the baby grandson, not the last baby, but the Corey died, and after the funeral, I was thinking God that he not suffering and all that. And so I looked up in the sky, and I couldn't understand it. It was so clear. It was no clouds that was, making it look like a person. But I saw my grandson's face came clear sky. And I said, Corey. is that you? He smiled. I said, Corey. And I said, I tell you, wink your eye. Wink one. Give me a wink. And he winked his eye. I said, wow. I said, Corey, am I looking at you? He smiled. I said, Corey, are you okay? He smiled. I said, Corey. Oh, wow. His face, that baby, he was about, what, 11, 12, 12? What was it, Darrell? 11?
He was 11 when he passed.
Oh, it was Darrell's son. And I said, my God, what is this? I said, so much is really being shown to me, and I got to find out what it is. Why am I shown my grandson's face in the clouds? Not clouds, in the sky. There's no clouds that you can say that in the shape of.
Yeah.
His eyes, his face, that was Corey. Corey was up there. And then the people that were in the van with me we were leaving the funeral, Corey, they looked up there too. And I said, because I had told him, I said, listen, I see Corey. I said, look up there. Do you see anything? Did you see anything? And I think Philip, the other fellow was with us, Philip.
Shonda, Philip, the girl at the end of the block, what's her name? Clarissa. We all saw that face in the cloud.
Corey's face.
So it wasn't just Doris. It was
a group of
everybody that
people.
looked.
It was almost as if it was a projection. And you have to also remember the little boy was cremated.
Yeah, he was cremated, that's right. He was cremated. So he would not come if he, I don't know. Well, that was Corey. And
the body ate it all.
I have an image of him in my staircase going to the basement, Corey. Mm-hmm. And he has a little shadow on his face here. And I hadn't thought about
that's interesting about ghost particles. Larry Hawkins said ghost particles are dark matter. CERN creating dark matter, artificial souls. Those that control the hive mind control the multiverse. Interesting. That's a good one, Larry. Sorry.
Okay, so
and Johnny Paz, our boy, says yes, there are multiple timelines, just to let people know. And Larry also said water retains, but where is it? Water retains memory.
Okay.
I was getting ready to see what our boy, the Bone Daddy Tim Saxon, said in a second once I can get to it. He said,
hey, Bone Daddy. I enjoy you.
All right, go ahead. Y'all go ahead. I just had to give some input what the people are saying over here on Facebook. They're talking.
All right.
Well, I know that Ramona Speaks is supposed to be on after us, but I'm going to keep going until she shows up in
Okay, yeah,
in the thing, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, wonderful.
So,
and
she's supposed to be on at the top of the hour, but we started a little late.
Yeah, that's good. So we I saw Corey, and that was the first time. I have a lot of firsts, and that was the first time I had seen someone who passed, and I looked up and saw them, and it wasn't through the cloud, but it was just his whole body. That's him. That was amazing. That was amazing. So so a lot of things that I have. Who was something I was saying? Oh, another thing I was how I don't have it. How people through conversations, a lot of times people volunteer and tell me something. And I wonder why, and this, and a lot of times it's about life and death. And
Well, I know why. You're easy to talk to.
Like Stanfield, thank you. Stanfield Turner. Now, that was my
Admiral Stanfield Turner, please.
Admiral. Excuse me, that was a
Thank
title.
you. Thank you.
He was trying. What did somebody say? They tried to drown him.
He's another drowned, and you know the story. And Mom may tell you the story about his daughter and her.
I talked to him on the telephone, and we talked for a good little while. And he was. I had talked to him before. I had talked with someone and said it was the person that only had the authority to fire me from the agency would be. I think I called him. I think I said it was Colucci, but it was not Colucci. It was Stanfield Turner. Colucci worked under Stanfield, but he did not have the authority to do what he did. He signed off on the form to say that I was fired from the agency, and that was untrue. And because a number of times we would talk in the mornings, going to like when he would go in, we met at about the same time, and we go into the agency the front door at the same time, and we'd be talking running up steps, and we had a good conversation. And he was having a lot of problems at the agency, and so he told me some things, and I said, well, there is such thing as a information box, what they call it. What did I say it would be there? What did I say? It was I think it was the information box. I said, let your employees say what they have to say, and they can write a little bit or something, not a whole lot, and information box, and put it, and let them put it, those questions, comments that they would have to make to you about the agency, what they heard about, what they're planning for you, or whatever. I said, let them put that in the box, and let it be at the security area. The security stand where there's always a security guard that can watch it, and never leave it without somebody being secure. One time that they so he did that. He had it placed at the security guard areas. And one time somebody came to me and told me, said, I heard, whatever you do around there, you hear.
Yeah.
I heard that you had something to do with the security box for the air. And I said, not really. I said, we just talked about it. I made suggestions that it'd be good if he wants to have some employees to make say something, they can do it. I said, anybody. And so that'll give him how to best handle what the situation he's under now. And he did leave the agency, and he put his office in over here in DC. And he had to. They were spying on him, and they were tapping his phones and over there. He didn't have.
So he got to resign?
No. He didn't resign. No, he didn't resign, but he was.
He was in a different building.
He had to leave out because there was nothing that he could do that everybody didn't know about, because they had his phone tapped.
In other words, he was forced out.
Well, that does happen to people.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so he the box got missing, and I don't know. So he had to. So anyway, we what happened? I don't know. They said that I had a lot of things that went down was because of the security box, and they labeled my name on that one somewhere, but it got rid of a lot of really old employees, but they were ready for retirement anyway. They were doomed for retirement, but some sit there, till they get tired and then leave. But then some don't. get tired to leave. He just play cards all day.
Oh my. Oh my.
When are they doing that now? Probably so. And so Stanfield told me that, and I didn't ever call him Stanfield. I always called him Mr. Clerk. And so he told me that we were just talking. He said, "Well, you know, said my daughter tried to have me killed." I said,
Oh
"What?"
my.
Wait a minute. I said, "I can't." I said, "Wait a minute. What did you?" I said, are you all right?" I said, "You okay?" I said, "Are you under doctor's care or something else?" I just tried to find out because that was a shock to me. He said, "My daughter tried to have me killed." And that was out of the blue. He told me this. And I said, "Your daughter tried to have you killed." I said, "Why would she do something like that?" I said, "You're her daughter." I said, "She's your father. You know, that is." She said she and her his son-in-law tried to have him killed. And he said, I said, "Well, now tell me this. Why would they do something like that?" He said, he told me because he married a younger woman. Tidbit, huh?
Basically, it's because they thought they were going to be out of the money. You have to remember, he also was an admiral in the Navy, which means he was packing that bank.
Yeah.
And you have to understand also that Admiral Turner had a lot of outside financial resources with the unlimited income of the Central Intelligence Agency. And I salute my Admiral Turner because I love that man to death. He talked to me straight up.
Yeah.
And he's one of those men that you had to give respect to because he was there. He did it just like Mr. Bartow, Mom. I mean, another man that had a Presidential Medal of Honor and a Congressional Medal of Honor.
A very good man.
Mr. Bartow, I loved him to death, and Admiral Turner, I loved him to death. Grew up with these men, you know what I'm saying? Grew up knowing them, speaking to them, seeing them, you know, catching time to catch up to them, you know. And those days,
they called computers by Bob.
Yeah. I mean, Admiral Turner loved Mr. Bartow, and they loved each other because they were in the same class of OSS.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay, so we can say that nicely.
And he
You say that nicely, yes. You know, Wikipedia says that the OSS was disbanded in 1945.
Shit, I spit out. God damn it.
Hey, Mona.
Hello, Ramona.
How you doing? How you doing, Ramona?
So
that was something. Who told that lie?
That's what they're trying to get the public to believe.
Oh wow. So,
since our next show has shown up, I ask our audience to stay with Ramona Speaks the Other Truth, and we're going to go off. And thank you so much for coming, Doris.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
And thank you for being part of it.
Oh yeah, that lived it. Yes,
So,
Marie lived it. Yeah, and Mr. Bartow was a wonderful man. He was a good man.
Then we're ending on a good point. So
yeah.
I'm going to let you go now.
All right, we are clear.